All right, everybody, we're back here on Latin Mondays here on Triple Threat FM Radio. And my guest is here, Pablo Perez, el alcalde de la salsa. Did I say
El
that right?
alcalde de la salsa.
All
Yeah.
right, man. So, where you from right now?
I live in Mississippi right now.
You know, you are the first artist that gave me a different state that I've asked, where they're from. I normally get like Florida or Texas or even New York, but it's mostly Florida. Mississippi, that's different. Wow. You've been there all your life?
No, 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 no. I just moved down here from I was in the DC area for many years, and I'm
Okay.
originally from New Jersey, but I lived in Jersey, I lived in Virginia, the Washington DC area, and then also in Puerto Rico. And we chose to come down here because it's between Florida and Texas and everything else, you know. And
Okay.
the cost of living is fantastic, so we're happy to be here.
I can't blame you there. I can't blame
Yeah.
you there. So when did you get how'd you get started into being a salsa artist?
Oh my goodness, man! I've been playing music since I was 9 years old, bro. And I come from a family of musicians. My father played guitar. My mother sang. I have eight brothers and seven sisters, 15 of us, and
Okay.
everybody had an instrument that they played, whether it be the maracas, el güiro, la clave, bongo, timbal, conga, piano, bass, trumpets, everything, the whole thing. Matter of fact, my brother Roberto was one of the first artists signed by Sony Records on back then what was called Spanish reggae. He was known as Don Perez, el original.
Okay.
So we've been in music for many years. I played with big bands in New Jersey, specifically in the Trenton, Newark area, Newark, Elizabeth. Let's see, Newark, Elizabeth, Linden, New Brunswick, all of that area there. Camden, into Philadelphia.
Right.
I had my own band when I was 16 years old, first time, called Conjunto Ambiente, which was a really nice group. We had singers from Ponce, mostly people from the Cruz family, or called the Cruz family,
Hmm.
uh, brother and sister team, Mary Conga. We used to call her Mary Conga, and
Okay.
Chu, because she also played percussion, and her brother played with La Terrifica back then.
Right.
I don't know if you know La Terrifica. But I've been in Latin music for many years. I've been doing it for a long time. I had a band called La Orquesta Llanes. We were really popular in the late 80s, mid 90s. We were really popular, had a lot of good tunes that came out during that time. And then I just kept on. I've always had a band. I ran for mayor of my city in New Jersey
Uh-huh.
twice. And I got endorsed by Tito Nieves and Willie Colon. May he
Right.
rest in
Oh,
peace.
that's cool. Yeah.
Those were my buddies. And Willie Colon was the first one that called me El Alcalde de la Salsa. So that's when I changed over from being just Pablo Perez y la Orquesta Llanes to
Yeah.
Pablo Perez, El Alcalde de la Salsa.
Okay. So the name of your band now is what? Alcalde de la Salsa?
El Alcalde de la Salsa, the mayor of Salsa. That's who I am.
That's cool. That is real. Cool because I know that there's an artist and she's on her. So I know if you know her, Isis La Enfermera de la Salsa.
Of course.
Yeah.
I
So look at
listen.
that.
Yeah, when Easy came to DC, I was the first one to put a band together for her.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I know her
she's been
very
on
well. She's a
she's been on the
wonderful lady.
show in the past. She's
Yeah.
she's great. She plays great music.
Yeah.
So what's new with you for in
Well,
2026?
my latest release is with a longtime friend and good buddy Angel Rios. The new song is called El Camino Así a Tu Alma, which is a tune that I wrote. I composed the tune, and I had it arranged by Victor Gamez out of Venezuela, who's one of my main arrangers.
Hmm.
I do other tunes from with Michael Colon, who's one of longtime friend and bass player in my band, and then also the great Junito Davila, Efrain Junito Davila, who's done stuff for Iberto Santa Rosa, La India, Victor Manuel, everybody. But the latest one is called El Camino Hacia Tu Alma, which is beautiful tune. I love it. It's got my big band sound that I wanted to make sure that we had that credibility of the hard hitting salsa, a heavy sound like the Willie Rosario sound.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm pushing now. I got other stuff that's coming out, but not right now because we're still working with that. I've had, I don't know, in the past 2 or 3 years, 25, 30 tunes that came out. Some of them have hit number one in New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, Puerto Rico, even in California areas.
Hmm.
You know, we've been number one, I think, 3 times on the nationwide DJ Latinos DJ record pools.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we've been very, very popular. Traveled everywhere. We've been to Florida, California, Texas. We did the Boston Puerto Rican Day Parade a couple of years last year, I think.
Hmm.
DC, of course, we played everywhere. Jersey, we played everywhere. New York, we played everywhere. So it's a very popular orchestra. My thing is, I'm old school, so I have an orchestra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of guy that goes and does a show with a record player. You know what I mean?
No,
Or
yeah.
with a pista. I don't do that. It's
Yeah.
either you hire my band or you just listen to the record, you know.
Yeah. And then you appreciate the sound more, you know?
Because well, that's one of the things. I actually wrote a manuscript. That's why I came down here because I'm writing a book on salsa and the decline in salsa and the comeback of salsa. Because there's 4 main pillars to what's happening in the salsa game right now. There's the DJ, right?
Right.
There's the dancers, there's the promoters, and then what I often refer to as the mediocre musicians,
Hmm.
because everybody wants to do everything cheap. So you
Right.
throw a dance and you say, okay, hey, I know people. People knows how to play bongos. He can get his brother Mikey that plays the guitar, and then this one plays the bass, and then they'll attempt to play something that doesn't sound like it's supposed to sound like.
Right. Yeah.
And then the dancers don't like it because they can't dance to it. The rhythm isn't right. And then the promoters don't like it because they lose money. And then the musicians don't like it because the good musicians are standing by and watching this happen and losing
Right.
work. You know, so we're killing ourselves. It's a self-inflicted wound. The other thing is that DJs are continuously playing homage to the old salsa, which is wonderful. You know, I just named Willie Colon and Tito Nieves, wonderful
Right.
people that I know and I love them. They got great, but there's a whole slew of new musicians who are trying to keep this genre going, and people are not giving them credit. They're not playing their music,
Right.
you know, and the dancers are dancing to old tunes, but they don't even know who the artist is. You know,
Right.
I was at one place where we were playing. It was packed. The place was packed, and they were playing a song.
Hmm.
Everybody knows it. It's
Yep.
called Indiscutible by Ray Barreto. So they're
Oh,
dancing and they smoke.
that song. Matter of fact, I was DJing at this Latin club in Albany, New York,
Uh,
and one of the dance instructors, because they would have dance lessons for the first hour,
right.
you know, and that was Ray Barreto was one of the songs we had to play.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, that's what they practice. So I'm like, I'm hearing that song over and over, but the people were getting it. And so by the time that hour was up, these people, especially like new dancers, boom, they danced the rest of the night, you know,
Well,
playing that salsa.
and that's lovely. I love that. The problem is they don't know who they're dancing to.
Right.
See, because some of these new people, they think, oh, that just came out last week. No, baby, that song is 40 years old. You know
Right.
what I mean? That song, what you're dancing to, is 40 years old. And it's a wonderful song. I love it. I love Ray Barreto. He was one of my idols. Him and Rafi Irizarry. You know, knew those guys. Met them several times in the Latin quarters there in New York. So, but the kids don't know who they're dancing to.
Right.
You know, and that takes away from the new artists' opportunities. Even in Puerto Rico, they have the Dia Nacional de la Salsa. They've been having an uprising now for the past 2 or 3 years. Hey, when are you
Right.
going to bring some new music in? You know, it's nothing to say that we don't love Willie Rosario, La Ponceña, or anybody else. You know, but you got a lot of great guys. You got a lot of great ladies. I mean, you mentioned Easy's. Easy's a nice lady. You know,
Hmm.
she puts on a good show. She can dance. She can move. You know, and she's not really a salsera. She has a myriad of music that she plays.
Right.
But she's a wonderful artist. She needs to get that exposure. Even the old school Choco Horta, who's still out there doing some great stuff. You know, doesn't get enough of the limelight. You know, so Pablo Perez, we kept the integrity of the music, of the band culture, of going in and putting on a good show, of making sure that when we get there, we're professional, we're on time, we look good, we sound good, and we give you what you pay for, you know,
Right.
and we always get a good response in it. So anyway, you asked me that question, so I gave you an answer.
No, and it's great because you know what? Coming with an artist coming with a orchestra,
Yeah,
it makes the party better because they're
right.
hearing the actual instruments being played. It's not like it's not the same when the DJ's playing the salsa song. I
No,
mean,
it's
it's
not.
good, you get the, but when you have the band there live, like I appreciate it more. All right, hear it on the radio, yeah, yeah, but when it's live, because you get to watch them, play. Was it like a couple years ago? I got invited to the Copa Cabana,
Uh-huh.
and it was Chrissy Ais performing
Oh yeah,
with the
yeah.
Mambo Lebron Orquesta,
Uh-huh.
and I, instead of watching her sing, I was watching everybody play.
But see, that's old school. People used to go there and they used to know who the musicians were
Right,
because the people used to come to see the show. Man, who's playing bass? Who's playing piano?
right,
Who's that on the conga? That's how Barreto and everybody became famous
yeah,
because the people would come in to see the musicians. Not just one person. It was a show.
yeah.
So what you're saying is absolutely correct.
And it's just I'm watching. I said, how can this one keep up? It was just everybody's part. When they're playing, it was like on point. Like I don't know how they do it. Watching it, listening to it, and then watching it. It's more fun. I mean, I like
Well,
watching it on videos and stuff, but in person, it's amazing.
it's a profession. Musicians who play music are professionals. Most of them, they can read music. And you can tell because when you see a band that reads music, everybody's tight. Like you said, sounds like the record, we used to say, right?
Right,
Sounds like the record. Now, when you have musicians who are guys who grew up, playing, they're nice guys, uh, but you'll hear like a little bit of something's going on there.
right,
It's not the 2-3, it's not the 3-2, it's not the I can't even dance on 1 or 2 on this because I can't catch it. So
right.
that's what will happen. The other thing is that I've been to shows where we show up and the DJ will say to me, "Hey Pablo, can you give me your repertoire to make sure that we don't copy or play one of the tunes that you're going to play?" And I say, "Baby, I'm not going to play anybody's music. I only play my
Right,
music. You
right,
know, so you can play whoever you want to. You know, and that just shows a sign of the time also because the DJs have to be careful not to play a tune that these guys are going to play because that's what they do. You know,
right.
and not that it's bad because it's not bad. But there's musicians and bands who play, and then there's artists. And we've lost that feeling of artists, artistas.
Hmm.
Maybe when the passing of Frankie Ruiz, because Frankie Ruiz was the guy that was taking salsa to another level, and he
Right.
left. And when he left, everything kind of went. La India was bad. When La India came and everybody knew, okay, that's an artist. And the musicians who played with her were artists, were real musicians. But then when you go to a local gig and you say, okay, who's playing? People in his band. Okay, but it's not the same. You know,
Right.
it's not the same because they're probably going to play, Indetutible. They're probably going to play one of those other tunes that and that's
Yeah.
they're called copy bands. That's what they are.
Gotcha.
Um, so everybody has played in a copy band, so I'm not downgrading that. I'm just saying, in order to keep the music alive, we got to give the new artists an opportunity, and that's where we thank you guys. You're doing a great job. We really appreciate that
Thank
because
you.
you have to push it. You have to be forceful because the big guys, the radio stations and everything. Not everybody wants to play because they already have their set standard of what they want to pay in order to play somebody's music because
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. And then the rules of payola have tightened up so bad that you can't even get a cut in there because they price themselves right out of payola. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah.
so so it's a tough cycle. You got to really be dedicated to it. You got to really want to do it. There's a lot of great singers. My singer Angel Rios on this tune. I don't know if you checked my whole chronology, but I have a main singer. His name is Miguel Orlando Ortiz from
Hmm.
Caguas, Puerto Rico. He's my number. I call him La Voz de Pablo Perez because he's been with me for 25 years.
Yeah.
And he is an amazing singer. An amazing singer. You can listen to any of the tunes from Aprende a Bailar, which hit number one, to Que Lo Que Hay, which hit number one. I had another young kid who sings with me too. His name is Steve Falcone, who did uh, the song. Uh, oh my goodness, I just had it. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that I forgot that song, but I'll come back to it. Stevie
Okay,
Falcone.
no problem.
Uh, Hace falta que te diga que me muero. Uh, uh, oh my goodness, I'm having a blank on this. Such a beautiful tune, man.
Yeah, but I know who Steve Falcone is, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, you know Steve too.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Steve has done a lot of good music with me, and he's been around with. I mean, he's traveled with me. He's done a lot. So I have Tito Gonzalez also, who did. You know, we did a beautiful cha cha. That's called La Cuquita. Beautiful tune. Every time we play it, man, the whole dance floor gets packed
Wow.
because people just don't hear live cha cha anymore. You know, if you get
Right.
an opportunity, go back, look at it. It's called La Cuquita, song that I wrote also. Beautiful.
Okay.
I also wrote Que Lo Que Hay, which is a bad tune also. Um, I wrote Aprende a Bailar, beautiful tune, you know. Um, but there's a lot of good music that we've done over the years, and it's gotten us into places. I mean, by the time last year we went on tour. We went on tour with Gran Combo 2 years ago. We went on
Mhm.
tour with Gran Combo and Grupo Nietzsche. They didn't know who we were,
Right. Now they
but when
do.
we you know, when we struck my man said, "No, I want to stay right here because I want to see this band," you
Yeah.
know, and they were beautiful people. You know, I got a good buddy who plays in Puerto Rico too, Luis Gonzalez, El Tsunami de la Salsa. Do you know him?
Sounds familiar, but
He's a trumpet player. He used to be a director of Willie Rosario's band,
okay.
and he also played with Barreto, and he also played with Clásico. I mean, he's a wonderful guy, Luis Gonzalez. If you get an opportunity, look him up on Facebook. He's
Yeah.
got history from the back of his head. You know what I mean? He's really he's been around for a long time, and he is another one. I mean, he is cracking down in Puerto Rico because that's where he's based in. But his
Mhm.
band is an awesome band. You know, it keeps the tradition of Puerto Rican orchestras that gets the crowds excited. You know, sometimes you go to a gig and the DJ stops and the crowd doesn't know what to do.
Right.
You know, they don't know what to do because and then
Mhm.
the band will come up, ling 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 ling. They're making a lot of noise, you know, feedback on a microphone, and then they go get a drink or they go outside and do whatever they're going to do. You know, and then they come
Right.
back after the band is finished. No, no. When we
No.
go, when Luis Gonzalez goes, these people are standing by because they're doing what you did. Who's on that stage? How come these
Yeah.
guys sound so good? Where did they come from? Why do they look good? Man, look at that. Look, listen to that sound, right?
Yeah.
So that's what gets us excited as musicians. So you asked me that, that's my passion, baby.
No, hey, you know what? That's good because I listen to the salsa songs, but then watching it being played by the actual artist and the
Yeah.
band, the orchestra, it's even better. It's like more fun because I'm telling you, when I went to see Mambo Lebron and his orquesta playing, I'm watching. I said, man, this is
Uh-huh.
dope. I go, it was dope. Just watching him
Now,
said,
now,
"Uh,
where are you located? Where are you located?
I'm all the way up in the Albany, New York area.
Oh, in Albany. Yeah, man. There's a couple of guys that play with me. Well, one of my timbalero used to live in Buffalo,
Oh,
but he
that's
would,
farther
you
up.
know, no, but he would come down through Buffalo, Rochester, and down to Albany because I've done a lot of shows up there too in
Mm,
Albany.
okay.
And back in 2014, we were up there.
Okay.
2015, you know, in Albany. We did some shows for. I'll think of the person's name in a second here.
All right, because I know every year Albany has the Albany Latin Fest they do every year.
We played in the
And
Latin Fest. We
oh,
played in
you
the
did?
Latin Fest. We did, yeah.
Okay. And
Let me.
then
I'm
they
going to send
also
you. I'm going to send you while we're talking. I'm going to send you here on Facebook us live so you can see us live too.
oh, okay. Even better,
Right.
even better.
That way
So
you can
so
see. Go
so
ahead. Go ahead. I'm
what
sorry.
what do you got? You got anything coming up? Dates, performance dates
Well,
that you
yeah,
got
of course we
available?
do. I'm going to be up in. Actually, I was just talking to the group now because I'm going to go up to Virginia because we got like 5 or 6 different gigs up there that I do annually in that area,
Okay.
mostly in the Richmond area, down Alexandria, DC, Franconia. Those are like my usual stuff that I do,
Okay.
especially coming up now in June and July. So I'm going to be up in that area now. I'm still working to try and get back because I'm all the way down here now, you know.
Right.
And right now, musicians hit a point, especially guys from our grade, that we hit a point where we want to see how our tunes are doing, you know, and what we get back on the reports from CD Baby or whoever's paying us, where are they selling the most, where are the people located? Because I mean, that's what we live off of. It's only
Right.
99 cents that we're asking for. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if we can get people to pay for that, then that helps us generate a better master plan as to where we want to go sell our product. Because it's you're running a business. It's
Yeah.
not a hit and miss. You're running a business, and then unfortunately, if the people don't know you, they don't hire you. So like you're in Albany. Okay, now you have to
Mhm.
go back and you say to all your buddies, hey, mira, hablé con Pablo Perez, that's dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I listen to his music. I like. We got to bring him back to Albany. Now you're the man. See, you're the guy. That's how it works.
Right.
And then we have to work together, whether it be something that we coordinate and work out. But we can. I mean, that's how you keep it going. That's how people keep
Right.
it going. Because the old days of agents and agencies are really gone. The only ones that are moving around right now are people that people know, Michael Stewart, Victor Manuel, people know those guys.
Yeah.
But the young guys, if we, the not the young guys, but the new generation or the current generation of music, if we don't work with you guys and you guys pull us in there and give us an opportunity, we don't get the shot because people just don't know.
Right.
They go back to what we started talking about. When you go into the club, what are they listening to? They're listening to Barreto, who's a bad dude, song 40 years old, but Barreto's not here anymore,
Yeah.
you know. And then you'll end up having tours like the Homenaje al, whoever it is that passed away. So
Yeah.
you'll have a band that they put together and play these old tunes. And that takes away from the new up and coming guys.
Right.
So again, I pay homage to you and I thank you very much because what you
No, you're
guys do
welcome.
is very important.
I know when I was DJing at the one nightclub at Albany, I would get music from salsa artists, like yourself, and I would sneak them in because they just wanted to hear the people they knew, the older. But you know what? It sounds they have the same kind of like melodies, like it sounds old school still. So I was sneaking in, and the people will come up to me and say, "Hey, who sings that song?" And I would tell them. I say, "Yeah, they're on Spotify, and if you want," because I find a lot of the artists that I have on the show on Instagram. I said, "This is their Instagram page. Check them out. You'll like it," and then they'll do it, and then they get more followers.
Right, right,
So
right,
and it's pretty cool when they come up because they don't know, and I know before them. So yeah,
right.
it's a so and so. Like you got to check them out. I said I checked their whole all their music because like um after talking to you now, I like after I talk, I always add the artist on my Spotify, and then
Right.
boom, and then I play it on my ride to work. Boom, let me check it out. And you're on Spotify, right?
Of course.
What
One
what
of one
what
of
is
my
it?
favorite albums on Spotify that I have is called Super Bailable. Super Bailable. Pablo Perez, El Alcalde de la Salsa. Super Bailable. Beautiful, beautiful album that we did. We were considered for the Latin Grammy. We weren't fully nominated because you gotta, it's another game altogether to get the Latin Grammy.
Right.
But El Chino out of Colombia wrote a beautiful article on us in his magazine saying absolutely this album is worthy of a Latin Grammy,
Okay.
not only because of the musicianships and the arrangements that were done and the singing and everything else, but because of the product. It was a beautiful product. So if you get an opportunity, go on there, man. Go on Spotify, El Alcalde de la Salsa. You'll see all of my music on there.
So that's how they find you, El Calde de la Salsa.
El Alcalde de la Salsa. So you have to say
Okay.
it in English to yourself first. The mayor of Salsa,
Oh, the mayor of Salsa. Okay, yeah.
and,
No,
and
but I,
then
I gotta try
translate
to
it.
say it right. El Alcalde de la Salsa.
That's right, because if not, it won't come up.
Oh, so I have to put it in English then.
Yeah. No, 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 no. In Spanish, el alcalde
Oh,
de la
okay.
salsa. If you don't do
Okay.
it correctly, it won't come up, right?
Right.
So, and that hurts a lot of musicians. Pablo Perez, el alcalde de la salsa. It's. I want you to hear it because I want your critique from it. I want you to
Yeah.
tell me, hey, I like this. This was nice. This
Yeah.
wasn't too nice. I never had that before, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want you to hear it.
Okay.
I even
No, no,
got
I got it.
boleros on there, bro. Even
All right.
bolero. I wrote a
Yeah.
beautiful bolero with
All
big
right.
band
So
sound, beautiful.
I'll let you know the next day. Matter of fact, I'll let you know. After I come home from work tomorrow. I'll let you know because I'm gonna hear it on the way down and on the way back.
Beautiful.
Because
Beautiful.
I know they're
Well,
gonna go
yeah,
ahead.
look for at least I have three different albums on it. One is In Camino, which is a beautiful album also. Um, and a lot of these guys that play with me or that are in the studios with me or anything, we grew up together. You know a lot of the names. El
Yeah.
Gallo, do you know who he is? El Gallo,
No, them I haven't
Anthony
heard of.
Colon. They became famous with a song called Hasta el Sol de Hoy. Hasta el Sol de Hoy. No la
Okay,
puedo
yeah.
ver.
Hmm.
Right. So they're very good guys. So we record together all the time. And then Efrain Davila, I told you, the piano player, beautiful guy. Mike Cologne, my bass player. The kid who's from Buffalo and his mom, I think it was his mom, was down in the Albany or Rochester area.
Hmm.
Uh, Chris Gonzalez, super
Nice.
kid, man, super kid. His dad was a pastor up there in Buffalo. Tremendous timbaleros. Danny Vargas, Conguero, horn sections, Albert Sanchez. A lot of these guys are beautiful people
Hmm.
who are very professional and dedicated to their
Right.
instruments. So we put on a great show. We really do.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to, man. If I know you're out in New York, I'm gonna try to make that show. Of course, you'll let me know when you come down. So
Yeah, and no. I'm looking for you to put. I'm looking for you to pull us up there.
yeah,
You got to go and
I'm gonna
take the.
work
Hey,
that. Matter of fact, yeah. After the interview, I got some info for you, so you can try. But yeah, we'll talk after the interview and everything. So tell me, where can like new listeners, how can they find your music and what kind of social medias you got so they can follow you and know what's
so
going on?
yeah, so as we said, I'm on all the platforms. So Apple Music, iTunes, you can go to Spotify, you can go to YouTube, any digital platform. You put Pablo Perez, el alcalde de la salsa. If you don't know how to say that, you got to write it out in English and how do you say translate it? The mayor of salsa, which is easy.
Right.
You can go there. You can find me on Facebook under Pablo Perez, el alcalde de la salsa. You can find me uh, on Instagram at El Alcalde de la Salsa. Uh, and you'll see what's going on with me. You'll see me at different shows. Um, a lot of times I don't, and this is a sad thing to say too, but a lot of times I don't put my gigs up into the digital platforms until they're rock solid and signed because the competition is so fierce
Hmm.
that that one band will see you and they'll, oh my goodness, man, I got to call Latin Mondays, man. Let me see if I can get on there and take this straight. How much is Pablo charging you? I'll do it for half. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They do that with DJs too. So
so,
yeah, I know
so
what you're
yeah.
talking about. I know what you're talking about. But
And
hey,
that's terrible. But that's why I'm writing that manuscript and that book on what's happening in the Latin music scene and why we're killing ourselves.
right.
We don't have to kill ourselves. There's plenty of audience out there that wants to hear us. Man, listen, we did not even benefit from whatever people might say, okay? From the fact that we had a Super Bowl audience, bro, listening
Hmm.
to Bad Bunny. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, I'm not choosing any political side or anything like that, even though they call me El Alcalde de la Salsa. But we were supposed to jump on that, you know? And everybody was supposed to say, hey, listen, man, I got great products. Look, listen to this,
Hmm.
because the people want, and they still do. The people still do. You
Right.
still have, there's a marketing uh, scheme out there that can really tap into that and help Latin music move up. But you got to have a good product, and you got to have integrity. And when you sell something, you gotta bring it. You know, don't sell me one of these famous old singers and then bring a band that can't play the tunes. How many times
Right.
did that happen? You know,
Right.
I've seen it. I felt bad for the guy.
Hmm.
He wants to go on stage and sing his tunes, and everybody wants to hear it like they hear it on the record. But you hired some musicians, can't do it.
Right.
They can't do it. Chordos ain't right.
Yeah, and that's important.
The tempo ain't right. Horns
Yeah.
ain't right. and he's kind of, or she, both sides, they're kind of, old, so they shouldn't be working so hard,
Yeah.
But that's what happens. That's what happens when you take the easy path, But if you pay for the money, I mean, if you pay for a beautiful product, you're going to get super musicians, you know, right down there in Albany. How far are you from Watertown? You're not that far from Watertown.
Watertown, I don't know. Maybe like 2 or 3 hours,
Is it
maybe.
Watertown that far?
Yeah, I'm
Elizabeth
not sure
Town?
because I don't. Yeah, because I don't really go down that way. So I don't know, but I
Well,
know
I'm trying to think again. All of my
like I
guys
know
around.
like Newburgh is like from where I'm at 2.5 hours, Newburgh, but Middletown, same thing. And I know
Yeah,
Middletown. I think they had Latin shows down there, I
and how
believe.
about Syracuse? You're not that far from
Syr-
Syracuse.
no, Syracuse, I'm like 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Still,
like
two.
two
Listen,
hours.
2 hours for a traveling band is not a long
Right.
distance to go. It really isn't. But what I'm saying is, if you look in those areas, because I named them out because I know guys who live in those areas who are fantastic musicians, man,
Hmm.
super musicians. I mean, these guys are traveling with the big stars,
Yeah.
right? But in their own hometowns, they
Right.
can't find good work, you
Right.
know. So
Agreed.
so so anyway, but good music. You can find me on every digital platform, man, that you can imagine. If there's a digital platform, I'm on there. Just put you can Google me. Just Google
Right.
me. Pablo Perez, el alcalde de la salsa, and everything comes out. All the
Gotcha.
tunes, everything. I just won, not won, I was just recognized by Top Latino magazine for being
Hmm.
a who's who in Top Latinos for the US.
Okay.
Did I send you that article?
No.
Okay, I'll send it to you so you can read it.
Hmm.
Because of other things that I do, you know,
Okay.
but salsa being my bread and butter.
Nice. Well,
Yeah,
listen, thank you for being on the show, man. I appreciate it. I got learned a lot of new stuff, which is good because
absolutely,
it keeps my head up. And I'll make sure my dad follows you on Spotify so he can because he loves salsa.
absolutely,
So
man.
any shout outs before we go?
Yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Everybody that listens to salsa music, everybody that knows who Pablo Perez is, all of those who follow me, all of the DJs like you who continuously give us an opportunity to show off what we have and to keep the doors open to Latin music. So thank you very much for all you do. I'm proud of all of you. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you. Thank you for being on the show. And we'll be back with more Latin Mondays.